I remember in the very early game, I tried to make all my frames to become health tanking. And yeah, no matter it's a really health tanking one or those squishy frame, I try my best to make them into a health tanking frame. Right now, yeah, if possible enough, I still want to make it. Why? Because I'm already get used to it and I'm still not good at playing shoegating, so do apologize. But here's the interesting one. I found that in the past, when we try to go the health tanking setup, we always go with the almost health tanking build. But right now, after several updates, the health tanking build seems to have changed a little bit, yet not very much people really talk about it. So I want to talk about what is the health tanking history, not really the whole game design, but just based on my own preference and my build to see that how did my health tanking build for all frame, including those squishy frame, have become. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. For an easy understanding, I will be using this Saryn Prime that I have right now because she's the one that I'm using the current health tanking setup the most. So I will be using her to make as a guidance to see that what it will become. So before that, we need to look through that this Saryn Prime has the innate health of this amount, but at the full rank 30, it will reach up to 375. This also means that in the max rank, it already got a decent amount of health in there. But this will be very important later on as it will affect the build that we will be building later on. In the past, we will be using Vitality mods and Arcane Guardian for armor values. Of course, if you have enough mod capacity, you can try to go with Umbra Vitality with Umbra Intensify so that it will increase the value for both Umbra Intensity and Umbra Vitality, but that will be very dependent. Other choices for Arcane Guardian can be Arcane Tanker and Arcane Ultimatum. Both will provide more armor compared to Guardian. Problem is that it needs some extra effort to reach up for that, and guess what? We just only focus on natural tanking and not very that much control really is really needed. So you don't really expect me, especially other people, will use those two a lot. Instead, Vitality and Arcane Guardian will be the best to use them. However, when the new update had released, this build strategy seems to have shown its own problem. The main problem here is the health value we can get. Remember when I mentioned about that it's very important that for our Saryn Prime, we have an increased health there? That's because when you mod your extra health mod in there, it will also add up additively. Because of this strategy seems to have a slight problem where it will heavily depend on the health of a frame has. In other words, if your frame has low health, the increasement will also be low as well. If that's the case, what will our newest health tanking build looks like? Well, this time around, we'll be not relying on the health mod and armor arcane anymore. Instead, we'll be interchange the position of these two. Let the arcane provide the health and the mod provide the armor. We'll be using the two newest things added into Warframe in the recent updates, which is the Parasitic Armor Helmet abilities and Arcane Blessing. Start from Arcane Blessing, it will give you maximum health if you collect the health orb, and it will give a maximum of 1200 of maximum health. This already surpassed what health mods you already have, because it gives you flat maximum health. In other words, it won't depend on your Warframe health anymore. That's why this will be scaled much better compared by using the health mods. While for Parasitic Armor, this will rely on not armor but shield, because it will exchange shield into armor. You might think that, is it really necessary? Well, turns out most frame, especially squishy frame, can take good opportunity to this. That's because most squishy frame has higher shield compared to the armor, which is why for Parasitic Armor, this scale much better. Model high enough shield, then using Parasitic Armor, especially it can scale with strength. That's why your interchange value will become much higher compared to you using both Arcane Guardian and the Arcane Ultimatum or Tanker, because the value will always be higher than 1200. Sometimes you can reach up to 2000 with a proper setup, as long as your Warframe build using a positive strength build. So you can see that both of these builds seems to have their own advantages and disadvantages. For the old build, it is much easier to achieve since all you need is just a health mod and an Arcane Guardian, so you can easily achieve. But the disadvantages is that it will heavily rely on your own Warframe health, as it is scalable based on your Warframe health. The newest build will be much better as it can provide much higher health and armor for your Warframe to become health tanking. But at the same time, you also must make sure that you have one Warframe slot for your helping ability, which is Parasitic Armor. In other words, if your Warframe build heavily rely on almost all abilities, then taking out one abilities only for Parasitic Armor seems to not be a good case. Either way, it's based on your choice whether which one you want to use the most. If this is your first time watching, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out any newest contents from me. Why not leave your comments down below if you got any ideas or thoughts you want to share with all of us. And that's it from me, and as always, I will see you all next time. Bye bye!